Gold is one of the most precious minerals in the world, which has sparked wars amongst great nations, trapped fortune hunters, and remains a symbol of wealth, which ends in the jewel stores and bank vaults. Uganda has many gold-rich areas, and the drab village of Rujinji in Mubende district is one of the treasure troves that warmly embraces these precious metals in its ground. On 4th August 2017, government banned artisanal mining in this area. Government cited an unaccounted-for number of people who died in the mines, the use of dangerous chemicals that are a threat to the environment and human life, among other reasons for the ban. However, Dan Chibiriki, one of the miners, does not agree with the decision by the government.
The Uganda we live in today is very unfair, sincerely speaking. That was uncalled for. The reason given, one, unregistered person. I don't think that if you went today to Rugongwe or to Rujinji, you get all the people that side registered, and there are quite a number of them. Yeah. Two, they talked about the use of dangerous chemicals. I've not seen or had any technology that has come either by the minister or any other person that this technology is going to eliminate the chemicals that were used previously, and yet work is still going on. They talked about foreigners. Now, of course, the foreigners, they were there, Rwandese, Tanzanians, but of course that was the work of government, Internal Affairs Department, to screen who are Ugandans and who are not non-Ugandans.
After the ban, the locals who had erected rickety structures in this area were given 2 hours to vacate the mines. This followed deployment of police in charge of minerals and the army to ensure nobody accesses the mines. Some miners claim that they are here on the mercy of the police and the army who control the murky industry.
After closing the mines, we remained nearby. It did not take more than 2 days. The police and the army elderly called us back to work for them.
This dirt road snakes through an expanse where illegal mining activities are allegedly taking place. On our way, we filmed several tinted cars whose drivers appeared suspicious of our presence.
Some of them are for the operatives who are allowing miners to work. Those who don't want to be seen, they move in tinted cars because you cannot tell which one is whose.
To disguise myself, I borrowed a Muslim cape from a friend who was traveling with us. We could not go further for fear of being noticed before concluding our investigation. The following day, my colleagues carried phones and the video camera in a sack, which is a common way of carrying mining tools. They befriended some miners to avoid detection. We managed to take pictures of what is termed as Z areas, where gold is separated from ores. With security patrols and a spy network which blends into the civilian community, one could not imagine that illegal mining still takes place here. This time it's not the locals mining, but security personnel. After our hosts felt comfortable enough, we were taken to the mines. Inside the mines, we encountered some strangers. Sources privy to the mining business told us that miners and dealers pay between 500,000 shillings to 2 million shillings as a protection fee to the soldiers and police to be accorded access to the mines. The miners armed with picks and shovels dig up the raw materials, go over 30 feet down the tunnels, break into the gold-rich ore rocks and sands. When asked about the continued illegalities in Rujinji mines perpetrated by the police, spokesperson Emilian Kaima said that the force will liaise with line commandants to avert the problem.
Out of the 3 sacks we get for them, they pay us only 2 spades of sand.
I've spoken to our officers on the ground, and they don't confirm that. But if it happens then, what I will do, we will share with the command, especially the Commandant Minerals Protection Unit and the Regional Police Commander, to work hand in hand first of all to appreciate this true. If it is true, to stop it.
His counterpart Richard Karemi refused to speak to us when contacted over the Army's role. The mining takes place between 7 p.m. and 4 a.m. Those who are found beyond that time are always whipped and their equipment confiscated. This 20-year-old was beaten after exceeding the limits. His shoulder bone was nearly fractured.
Piki zali 3 nga ziliko abantu 4 abapoliisi nga bonna bakutte emiggo.
3 motorcycles carrying 4 men stopped in front of us. One of the policemen cocked a gun. As I tried to run away, one hit me with a stick.
Omulala ayimirira emabega nga teri kuvaako. Era nze nga nali nvuddeko omusajja n'ankuba omuggo nga n'apingiza mu kayumba.
We were taken to a house, and anyone who tried to talk was hit on the head.
Nga buli boyogerako nga kuba omuggo mu mutwe tolina kwogera.
Some of the miners claim that they are sent by the police and the army, and if they are lucky, they are paid in the form of sand or ores, which they sometimes process and find no gold.
When you complain that they gave you less ore, you get beaten.
Kuba batukozesa nga ffe naye tubeerayo mu bulumi.
We endure pain while working for them, but they pay us badly. When you discover gold, they do not want you to take anything. When we complain, they say we have spades, they have guns.
Bagamba ffe tulina bitiyo bo balina mundu. Waliwo omusajja avuga kipajero kikadde nnyo, okisanga ne ku kkubo n'okirekako.
There is a man who drives an old Pajero car. When he wants to show that he's powerful, he opens the car boot and he tells you to put their ore that you're carrying. When you see the guns inside his car, you cannot refuse.
Genda okutula munda yonna emmotoka ejjudde emmundu. Akugamba teeka omwo omukyanga ng'oteeka mu bbuutu munaye ng'agenda.
Because they work overnight, we captured some miners taking naps as they waited for the ores to dry so that they can be crushed easily. There is a motley gang of stick-wielding men wearing plain clothes who keep a close eye at how much gold the miners will get.
Abo nabo balina department yaabwe balina bakama baabwe.
These men in plain clothes have a department. They beat us, and if you fight back, the armed bosses intervene.
Wabayo abababeerako emabega gwe omukwatirako omanyiza nti gw'ozannyirako si mutono.
The artisanal miners are paid a paltry 130,000 shillings to get their hands dirty to access every gram of gold.
Is there a possibility that if you're to sell that gold after you've gotten it, you can decide where you have to sell it, minus going to a specific person?
Yo n'omwifulumya otya? Nze nkugambye ekintu kimu tebali mu uniform.
How do you get the gold out of that place? They are not in uniform, but everywhere. These security people in charge also report to other bosses.
Baatuuka nabo ne bafuna bakama baabwe abanene abali mu gavumenti wakati.
In this shabby town, there are miners who are licensed to buy gold. While there, we saw cars with Tanzanian number plates.
Most of those people are processors. The technology of processing tailings came from Tanzania. And most of those Tanzanian number plates, those are the folk who do the processing of tailings using advanced chemicals. Which is not really common for the normal Ugandan or the normal Mubende person.
Even in the dark of the night, the cyclists continue to comb the pockets of this town. Every year, this mine is categorized as ABC. A standing for Nyonga, B Kampala, C Chikadi, used to produce 3 kilos of gold every day. At the market price, this gold costs about 500 million shillings. They had close to 1,000 people, and each person could get at least 1 gram of gold every day.
At the moment, it looks like the mineral police does the work of the mining inspectors. They do everything, but of course that one will be sorted out when we get back to work. At the moment, there is nothing can fight about the mineral police. Right now, what they are guarding is the investors' interest, not the local miners' interest.
After doing our undercover filming for 6 days, we drove to the mining area in broad daylight. I had to be seen for not more than a day, since we were viewed as antagonists in the area who had come here to knock winds out of the sails. We made a stop at Good Gift Infant School with shanty structures.
The Shabby Good Gift Infant School has over 50 pupils here, from nursery to primary 5. But when you look inside, it's just a shanty structure that has been improvised by those locals from the area to ensure that they provide education to the children in this area. When you look on this side, this is what stands as the blackboard. Just a little bit of painting with charcoal, and then they use the chalkboard. And this can only maybe accommodate a few sentences if children are to study in class. But this area where they come from, not far from here, is a place where the gold deals happen.
We found pupils about to conclude the day, standing on heaps of sand.
Tomorrow, we have to come with jerrycans, because we have to reduce this dust.
The spirit of East Africa dwells here. And they love their motherland, Uganda, as well. Outside is cracked maize ravaged by weevils. And this is what will be prepared for a meal the following day. Biting poverty envelops this area, sitting on massive gold deposits. On 7th May 2018, Mubende United Miners Assembly wrote to Irene Muloni, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, asking to effect the 30% share meant for the evicted miners and landlords following the President's directive on 6th April 2018. Although the miners had welcomed the government offer, they disagreed with the developer AUC Mining Company, to which highly placed politicians subscribed.
Moses Masagazi came up with the proposed areas to surrender. Most of them which were in swamps, others were in forest reserves, and ideally had surrendered nothing, because the investor wanted to take over the areas where we were working last year. And yet for us, we thought, as an investor, it will be okay for him to go and discover in other new areas, because exploration means you have machinery, you have capability, and you have the money.
The contested area scales to 207.8 square kilometers. Some of the stakeholders in AUC Mining Company are Gertrude Njuba, who works at State House Land Affairs, Moses Magezi, a geologist and has been Njuba's aide since 1987. The other shareholders are foreigners. This stalemate has lasted almost a year. However, the army and police supposed to guard this area have exploited the conflict to enrich themselves.
Yeah, the mineral police, I think, does not report the Uganda police forces. They should be reporting to either State House or the Ministry directly. And their way of doing work really is not the normal police procedures. Yeah, it's not the normal police procedures. Because whether the mineral police, what I mean is that they can arrest someone and it's taken through about 4 police stations.
Every unit of the police reports to, according to the arrangement, to the Director of Operations, who also reports to the Inspector General of Police. But what's worth noting, you work hand in hand with the territorial police.
Local leaders are also accused of siding with developers to sideline the local miners. This was the response from Moses Nkanji, the area LC3 chairperson.
That you formed a group of the high-profile personnel so that you can own some of the mining areas, to take the bigger part of it or to eat a lion's share from it. What do you say about that allegation?
Business yange ya kasooli. Ndi musajja omulimi omulungi ow'ensuku, owa kasooli, omusuubuzi.
I'm a renowned maize and banana farmer. I don't even know how gold looks like.
Simanyina mpeke efaanana etya.
This place looks to be underdeveloped. It looks very shabby, and you meet so many shanty structures within the area. How has the local person from this area benefited from the gold that you people are enjoying?
Golodi, nanti golodi nga golodi. Revenue tetugifunamu. Ne population eri mu kirombe. Abantu abo balya.
We don't get revenue from the gold, but rather to those who sell several items and firewood to other miners.
Omuntu aleeta enku atuwa ka revenue. Omuntu aleeta muwogo atuwa ka revenue.
Abunda mama.
Driving to Rujinji area under the control of plainclothes police and army officers comes at great risk. Many of the security personnel here carry sticks and guns concealed in their jackets. Here, the area is like a war zone where jungle laws prevail. I did not see any police post in this place where they are highly suspicious of the visitors.
Those boys who are running, they are just now going to start the mining activity, and they use rudimentary tools. That's why you see they have a lot of that. And they're wearing torches that they use at night, meaning the process will go on until morning. So it's what happens within this area. Yet government had completely halted any activity of mining in this area until many issues are ironed out.
As we returned, I was suspicious of the vehicle in front of us after its driver acted strangely.
The driver indicated so that we can pass, but this suspicious vehicle in front, it's like they are not giving us way to pass, so we don't know what they are planning to do ahead, because the occupants from the little part that it doesn't have tint, we see them make phone calls, but let's wait and see what happens.
After the driver forcefully overtook the saloon car, we drove for less than a kilometer and we were intercepted.
Rolling and back.
Two officers from police and the army with plain clothes stopped us and asked whether we had a letter from the commandant of minerals from police allowing us to access the area.
It is your work and it's also our work as well. But now, this side now, that's why I stated it well. This one is quite different from what we have been doing. And you are aware of mining sector.
But what's happening? What's the problem?
No,
what's going on?
You know, this is a restricted area, of course.
Indeed, to tell you the fact, Byaruhanga, it is a restricted area. You know what happened?
You know what?
Do you know that we have someone already with a gun that they wanted to shoot someone?
They further explained that the mines had been infiltrated by people suspected to be rebels.
But this place attracted very many ex-combatants from ex-rebel groups of our neighboring countries. So, whoever comes this side, we must start check.
However, I did not see any evidence of rebel activity in this area. Uganda lost more than 10 billion shillings in royalties from undeclared gold trade last year. According to the Auditor General's report for 2016-2017 financial year, only 16 kilograms in gold exports were authorized, while Uganda Revenue Authority records showed that more than 8,000 kilograms were actually exported. As the sun sets over Rujinji, seated on gold deposits, the shackles of poverty in this area could be unbound if there is equal share of the resource. Sudhir Byaruhanga, NTV.